Okay, let's go through these solutions. So we have two things to deal with here. The first is creating an HTTP request value that represents a post to /API/users. When this succeeds, by the way, let's go take a quick look, take off that optimize flag, at what we're sort of building up to. So we want, we have once again broken the register function, and now there's just a lot of breaking stuff that used to work in this workshop. When I hit sign up, nothing happens. I hammer on it all day, and there's no HTTP requests. It's really annoying, and that's because fundamentally this command right here is not doing anything. So once we replace these things with something that works, then actually I can go back there and hammer on that button, and it'll hopefully sign me up and create a user. Okay, so here is our request. So if we want to send a post request to this, we're going to need to use this documentation right here. So post takes a string for the URL, so we can see that right there. Then it takes a JSON body. So we know the string that we want is going to be /API/users, not /login. And we don't want debug.todo because that's just going to crash, so that's no good. What we want instead is http.send. And the second argument is the JSON body. And we got one of those right up here. That's request body. Okay. And what else does this thing expect? Then the final argument is it wants a decoder of A, and that'll give us back a request of A. So since we want a request that's going to produce a viewer, we want to find a decoder viewer, which conveniently we've already got right here in response decoder. So response decoder, whoops. Okay. So at this point I can pause and just see if that compiles. It does not, because I did something wrong. Oh yes, because I wrote http.send instead of http.post. Very different functions, those. Okay, much better. Compiled two modules, successful. Okay, so now we've got our request, and now we're going to use http.send to create this command based on using the request and also a message that can accept result of both the two possibilities, either the HTTP request failed or that the HTTP request succeeded. So if I look at the docs for send, we can see that it's first expecting a function that takes a result, error, A, and then returns a message. Then it wants a request of A, and it's going to give back a command of message. Notice, by the way, the lowercase m here. This is a type variable. It's just we're choosing the type variable name MSG to represent the fact that this is a message type. So what we want is a variant function, basically, that's going to say, given a result, I will give you back a message that encapsulates that result, or wraps that result. Okay. There's a hint as to which message we should use. Oh, look at that one. I wonder which one has to do with HTTP. It's called completed register, and it's got exactly what we want. It's either an HTTP error or it's a viewer value. All right. So based on that, we're going to say http.send, and that was the first argument to http.send, was that function from result error A to message, and A in this case is based on the type parameter of the request, which is viewer. So since completed register takes result error viewer, that's exactly what we want. So we'll just pass that right in. Completed register. And finally, it wanted the request itself. So we can give it that, which is request. And we're done. Let's confirm that that compiles, which it does. Also, if we wanted to, we could do this in the pipeline style. Whoops, like we showed in the slides, and do it like this. So this would also work. Do an HTTP post to /API/users with this body and this decoder, and then send the result using that message. That will also compile. Okay, it compiled, but did it actually work? Let's find out. Now when I hammer on this, hey, success! We now are able to sign up successfully. Fantastic.
Do you have a set guideline for where you're putting decoders versus like your API requests versus it's like, is it common to see it in an update and all in one in a decoder somewhere else?
Great question. The question is, where, like organizationally speaking, is it common to put your decoder right there in the update? No, I would say it's more common to put it with the data structure. So it's a lot more common to have, for example, if we look in, so viewer, there actually is a module called viewer, which holds all of the information for viewers. As it happens, there actually is a viewer decoder in here, which we didn't use for this exercise directly because I didn't want you to have to go hopping around through different modules to find it, but fundamentally that's a more typical pattern. So usually you'll see something like this, like viewer.decoder, which means go to the viewer module, get the decoder value out of that, and that's usually where you'll store those things.